Hello class again. I had to stop the previous video because after I completed everything, I noticed that I was solving problem 4 and not problem 3. I also need to rename the template. Um, I might haven't I might have seen problem 4 somewhere. So I'm now back to problem 3. So right here, show a separate graph of the constraint lines, and these are your constraints, okay, and the solutions that is satisfy each of the following constraints. So right here, whatever they're not telling you what A is or B. Okay, it could be anything. Your two favorite foods. They cannot have more than 18 grams of fat, for example, combined. And right here, you on the other side is saying that you're using the same example, your two favorite foods, for example, whichever they are combined, they need to have more or equals to 480 fibers, grams of fiber, for example. And right here on the last one is very interesting because it's telling you that both combined, they have to be exactly this amount. So for this first equation, when you have less or equal, when you have a graph, which I'm gonna show you how to do that, and you have the values less or equals, that means it's closer to the origin of the graph or 0 and 0, where A is 0 and B is 0, okay, where they meet. If it's higher than, you go further away from your origin. And if it's equals, it's exactly on the line that you have defined. So the first one, let's go ahead and put it over here. But we're going to put, instead of putting the equality signs like this, we're going to put like a regular equation, like we're going to solve for A and B. So 3A plus 2B is equals, I'm going to use as an equation, 18. Now we're gonna solve for A and B. I put this little table here so you can understand that first we're gonna set B to 0, to a value of 0, to figure what value we have for A. And then we're gonna set A to 0 to get the value for B, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. If you're setting B to 0, so you're gonna have 3A plus 2 times 0, or 2, see, 2 times b, 2 times 0 equals 18. So you're going to have 3a plus and then 0. Oops, sorry about that. 0 equals 18. And now you're going to have 3a equals 18, correct? So if you divide both sides by 3, 3a divided by 3 is a, 18 divided by 3 is 6, correct? So when you divide both sides by 3, you're gonna figure that A is 6. Therefore, A is 6 when B is 0. Now we're going to do the other way around. We're going to solve now for B. Well, we have determined that A now is, so we have the second equation right here now. This is your first, um, and then now we're working on the second. Okay, so this is your first, and now we're going to determine the second. Okay, so now when A is 0, so you have 3 times 0 plus, so 3 times 0 to solve for b, plus 2b is equals 18. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2b, right, equals 18. So 0, which you have already determined, is nothing. So 2b is equals 18. Now you divide both sides by 2, correct? So now you're going to divide both sides by 2. So we're going to do b. So 2b divided by 2 is b, equals 18 divided by 2 is 9, correct? And that's your value. I'm trying to figure why I have, oh, because I have put the actual equation on the first line. That's why it looks different. So if we want to go ahead and do like this, so they look the same. So 3a, and then we repeat the same equation to b equals 18. I just want them to be consistent so it doesn't confuse you. There we go. Okay, so now we have learned that when a is 0, b is equals 9, correct? We solve, so therefore right here it's 9. And then it tells you to show a graph. How can you do that? I'm gonna do it the way I know it. If you know a better way, please feel free to do it. So, if you are not comfortable in doing Excel, following the same thing, you can go ahead and draw by hand and save the document as a PDF and submit that with your homework or whatever you find more appropriate. I'm just gonna show the way I know how to do in Excel, and I know there is an easier way because the first thing I do, I'm going to insert a graph based on the first values. But that graph is not really going to show um, the way I want it. So I'm just going to modify a few things. So let's just do a graph. And all I'm going to do right here, I want to select the data. So I'm just going to remove this first values because I want to have the shell of the graph. So I'm going to add. And right here, I don't want to put a name. Or you know what? Let me go ahead and put it like this. This is the name where A is 6. See why I didn't want to put a name? Because he put it as a title. And B is 0. Okay. Let me go ahead and delete this. Do OK. So now, here's my point. When B right here is 0, my A is 6. This is my A. This is my B, okay? So now I'm gonna add a second one where when my A is 0, my B, I just click on this little thing here so I can select my cell. My B is 9 and then do it okay. Here you go. Do you see it over there? So now when my A is 0, my B, which is the vertical, is 9 and do okay. And then you think, okay, where's my graph? Well, all you need to do, you can go over here now, click on the graph and go in format, and then you're going to insert a line right here. See right here, insert shapes, line. Again, I click on the graph, format, insert, and then my shape, which is a line. And now I can do is connect these 2 points right here. You could go ahead and, as I have previously shown you, make this thicker. You can change the color. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you find appropriate. Okay. So there's my line. So we know right here, if you actually stop the mouse, you're gonna see that this is my point where when B0, A6, right here, when A is 0, B is 9. Okay, so now is the important part. Remember what I said, when you have an equality of less than or equals, every time less than or equals, you're gonna use everything that it goes uh, directed to your origin or 0 and 0, your point right here. Okay, so the way we need to do to shade this, go click again on your graph, click in format, and right now let's go back here and open here, and we're gonna look for this one right here, free form. Use the free form shape. I'm trying to see because this is recently used. I'm trying to see down here, where is that at? um hmm, you can right here, lines. Oh, it's right here in lines. Okay, click on that and you're gonna see this little cross. All you do is click on the first point, let the mouse go. Look how it gives you a line. Go to the second point, click the mouse again, let it go, and I'm not holding any buttons on my mouse, okay? And we're gonna go over here click again, and lastly over here and click again. And there you go. Now you can go ahead and change this color if you want. There you go. I'm going to put it very bright. Um, right now, I'm not very concerned you label your graph because I know exactly what it's asking you right here. However, we did cover that before in MSC 3370, talk about descriptive statistics and how it's important to label your graphs. Otherwise, it may be very deceiving. In this case, I know exactly what you're trying to show me, so you don't need to do that. As long as you got the correct values, if you want it, you could just click on the graph, going format, go right here, see where it says text box, click on that, and you could, for example, go over here. You know these points are 6 and 0, correct? So you could just put a little box over here, perhaps, and put 6 and 0. Now we're gonna have to make it a little bigger. There we go. Bingo. So you have a little. So you could even go ahead and copy this and oh, it's not letting me copy it. Well, I guess I will click again, format, text box, and go over here and put that this is, I'm gonna have to make it bigger. This is 0 and 9, which I can move it up and I'll open a little bit. Here we go. And that's your graph, which is simple to make it here. I find it simple. So now let's go ahead. I'm gonna delete this. Yes, I am. And I'm gonna delete all this, and I'm gonna delete all that. Yeah, I am. I better start from the beginning and do it right. And now I'm gonna do the second equation. B. On B, you have 12A plus 8B. And remember, I'm solving for an equation equals 480. So if I set B to 0, and here the second, I'm going to set A to 0. A plus 8 times 0 equals 480. 12A plus 0 equals 480, correct? 12A is equals to 480. Divide both sides by 12. 12A divided by 12 is A equals to, and if you're not sure, do 480 divided by 12, which is 40. Therefore, when B 0, A is 40. And now we're just going to copy it down here, but I want to be yellow. So now we're setting A to 0, so 12, right? We're setting A to 0 now. So 12 times 0 plus 8B is equals 480. So 12 times 0 is 0 plus 8B, correct? Therefore, 8B is equals to 480. Well, divide both sides by 8. So 8B divided by 8 is B. And then here, if you want, you can do, which is 60, but you can do 480 divided by 8, which is 60. So when A is 0, B is 60. And then let's do the little graph the way I did it before. I select the first series. Let's just go insert graph. And with the line, okay, I'm gonna go over here and I can either click the right button here or go here and select the data. I want to clear the whole shell. I just want to keep it like this, and I'm gonna add where when A is 40, B is 0, okay, and then I'm gonna add one more. Then when A is 0, B is 60, okay, and then okay. Here we go. So right here, if you stop the mouse, When A is 40, B is 0. When A is 0, B is 60. Let's click the graph, going format, and let's insert a line right here. That's your line in which you could change whatever you wanted. Um, there you go. Okay, now here's what we need to pay attention. It's saying that to choose all the values higher or equals to, higher or equals to, so it goes further away from from your line. Therefore, any values that will go. So now we're gonna click again here, format, and we're gonna do a free form right here. So let's click here, and then I let it go. I'm just moving the mouse, but I'm not clicking anything. Then click again here on this point. Okay, I could go ahead and just close it here, but really, it's anything that goes beyond and above that. Okay, but just for this um, purpose, I'm just gonna close over here. But please note that these values keep going. They go further away from our line, and that would be B. This would be B. And then we're gonna do now C, so I'm gonna delete this again. I'm gonna delete all this, which you could even put here equals to this cell right here. When we solve it, equals to this cell. And right here, we could do equals to this cell. I just don't want to confuse you. So now, okay, the last one, we're gonna do 5a plus 10b, and this is literally equals to. So it has only, so only the points on the line are the feasible solutions. Not above, not below, only the points that fall on the line are the feasible solutions. 5a plus, we set b to 0 now, right here. 10 times 0 equals to 100. Okay, make a little bigger for you. 5a plus 0 equals to 100. Then 5a equals to 100. And then if we divide both sides by 5, 5a divided by 5 is a, equals 2. And then we're going to do 200 divided by 5, which is 40. Okay, actually I should do that. This value here should be equals this actually. And then um, this value here should be equals to this value. Oh, because I have set up both. I can't either or. Okay, I got it. So this value here, so equals this, whatever comes here. Which right now it's showing us nothing. There's nothing there. Okay, so let's go ahead and work where a is 0. So we're 5a plus 10b equals to 100. 5 times 0 equals 10b, which is 200. Therefore, 0 plus 10b is equals to 100. 10b is equals to 100. Divide both sides by 10. 10b divided by 10 is b. And then here we're going to do 200 divided by 10. And then it's 20. Okay. So I have done the wrong way. So now whatever we put it, we compute here, it's gonna populate this little table. You don't have to do that. I just did it to show you. So now we're gonna graph these values. Let's select the first two. Right here, we're gonna insert line. I just wanna remove. I did that 3 times already. That's why I'm going fast. I'm gonna remove that. I just wanted the shell. I'm gonna add where this is X or A and this is Y or B, and I'm gonna add a second one where A is 0 or X, and then B or Y is 20. Okay, and then you see the points over there. Okay, so right here, when A is 0, B is when B is 0, A is 40, and right here, when A is 0, B is 20, and then you have to insert a line to determine feasible solutions right here, and then you are actually done. And the reason for that is what I said at the beginning. This constraint is saying that this value has to be exactly 200. Therefore, you're only gonna have feasible solutions on the line. If you move away from the line, either for greater or equal or less or equal, you're not gonna find a feasible solution. And okay, and then it would be done with problem 3. I am gonna stop this video because it's rather long, and then I'm gonna be working on problem 11, which is a little more complicated, but you're gonna see it's not that hard to solve. And the only reason why I'm showing all this because once you do advance to solver and you get the answer for this, you're gonna know why what happened. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop this video and start the next one. Thank you.